A sit-stop is the very first horseback riding exercise in the program I'm sharing with you. Why? Because every rider worth their salt should be able to stop their horse without pulling their teeth out in the process. On top of that, if you know you can stop your horse under any circumstance, your confidence in yourself and in your horse will skyrocket. You'll feel more comfortable in the saddle, and your horse will sense it right away. The first thing to understand is your riding position. To keep it simple, there are 3 positions. Position 3 is the stop, the halt. You're sitting deep on your pockets. I like to call this the couch TV beer position. Position 2 is when you sit tall. Lift yourself up a little. Keep your back straight. This is the energetic position that brings life into your horse. Position 1 is leaning slightly forward, which you'll use for cantering, jumping, or more advanced work. We'll get to that later. To teach your horse to stop from your seat, that is to feel the change in your pelvis when you sit deep, you'll need to combine 3 exercises. The goal is to educate your horse to stop as soon as you shift into position 3, sitting back into the saddle. This is the beginning of an education that will lead you to riding in true harmony with your horse. The first step is teaching the stop using a one-rein stop. This works like an emergency brake and is particularly effective if your horse bolts or simply goes faster than you want. Note, with a more advanced, calmer horse, even if I still practice lateral flexion, I can usually move on to step 2 pretty quickly. For the one-rein stop, sit in position 3. Then, if your horse doesn't respond after a few seconds, slide your hand down the rein and bend his head around until he stops and relaxes. Make sure to flex his head in both directions every time you stop. You can practice this at the walk and even a trot right from the very first session. Next, introduce a light two-rein stop. As always, start by sitting in position 3 and give your horse a moment. He deserves the chance to figure it out. Then, lift your hands. Lifting your hands means you're just taking up the slack out of the reins and making contact with the horse's mouth, but without pulling. If he doesn't stop, fall back on the one-rein stop. Very soon, your horse will realize that this light pressure at the corners of his mouth is always followed by a one-rein stop if he keeps moving. So eventually, he'll stop as soon as you lift your hands and take up the reins. And before you know it, your horse will start to feel your shift in the saddle. As soon as you drop into position 3, he'll sense it and know you're asking him to stop. At the beginning, your horse may want to keep moving forward or be stiff in the neck. That's okay. Give him time. He needs to think it through and find the answer himself. Keep steady pressure. Stay ready to release and reward the very first try, no matter how small. Then you just build on that success. Some horses can be stubborn and keep walking in a circle while you try to bend them. As Ray Hunt used to say, let him find a place where to stop. Horses, just like us, would rather do nothing if given the choice. Rest assured, he'll soon figure out that it's better to stop the moment you slide your hand down the rein. Sometimes dominant horses, spoiled horses, or horses with damaged mouth won't respond to just lifting your hands. In that case, you'll need to insist to get the result. You may have to pull firmly on the reins until he stops, but remember, always offer softness first, and release pressure immediately the moment he stops.